that person is never going to call them after the transaction.
Yeah.
They're gone. And I can't it would be not okay for me to reach out because I'd given them away.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want that. Like that's not the customer service I want to give. I want them to feel like they are a client forever and they're going to get chocolates and they're going to get phone calls.
Welcome to The Growth Mindset, the podcast for ambitious real estate and mortgage professionals. Hosted by Adam Crosley and Rick Riddle, this show dives into entrepreneurial strategies, sales techniques, and mindset hacks designed to fuel your career growth. Get ready to learn from top producers, gain actionable insights, and start your journey towards success. Here's your hosts, Adam and Rick.
Welcome to today's episode of the Growth Mindset podcast here at the trade show floor in Atlantic City at Triple Play. This is Kira Witherwax, also of Plattsburgh, New York. Kira and I have worked together for
a number of years,
probably almost a decade at this point. I mean, and Kira is an associate broker leader of the Kira Witherwax team at Remax North Country up in Plattsburgh. And, on our episodes, we just talk about growing and growth mindset. And, Kira, it was so great running into you here because Kira, while we live in a smaller town, has built her own team and she's just super entrepreneurial. Her and her husband have, bought a local business and turned it into this amazing thing. And you're just a staple in the community. And it's so cool that two hillbillies from Plattsburgh ran into each other in southern New Jersey.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us here today on the Growth Mindset. And so Kira, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get into this wild world of real estate?
Well, so I actually went to culinary school out of high school, which I say I confused liking to eat with liking to cook. I still very much like to eat, but I did a couple different things. I worked as financial planning assistant, and kind of never really felt like I had found my place, and really discovered that I didn't like asking for time off. I wanted to be able to control my schedule and really felt like if I'm fine with being responsible for anything that goes wrong,
right? But
I also want to get the responsibility and the credit when it goes right.
The reward.
And so really being self-employed was a really good fit for me, which I sort of found accidentally. I was kind of between things, and the woman that sold us our house said they were looking for another agent in their office and asked if I'd be interested in that. And
so you
stumbled into it, and thank God, like it's been amazing. Like I really just feel like I found my thing. It's an incredible way to help people and build our communities. It's fantastic. And then with starting a team, like I really enjoy the mentorship part. It allows me to grow in a way that so when in 2021, I had my best year ever. And I think I closed like 62 transaction sides, which is insane. And I was working like 7 days a week. And my husband and I were like, okay, we can't do this. Like
money's good, but we need some level of balance.
And so I was like, okay, either I need to scale back and do less, or I need to figure out a way to that I can grow and not lose my mind. And I so much enjoy the relationship building. Like that's my favorite part. That's why I'm successful. Is because it's always about the long-term relationship. And so I didn't want to stop doing those things because that is what was organically growing my business.
Correct.
And so I was like, okay, well, if I want to grow, how can I grow and continue to kind of give the same service? And I kind of had some systems in place at that time. I already, was sending my clients chocolates once a year and touching base with them on a regular basis. And so with a team, I was able to plug my new team members into that same system.
Got it.
So
so they weren't starting at scratch. They were starting from level 3 versus level 1.
Right. Yeah. Because it's common if, an agent in our business, if they can't take a lead or are on vacation, they'll refer it to another agent for a small referral fee. And that's like a way to do that, which is which is fine. And I did that for a little bit, but then I realized like that person is never going to call them after the transaction. They're gone. And I can't it would be not okay for me to reach out because I'd given them away.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want that. Like that's not the customer service I want to give. I want them to feel like they are a client forever and they're going to get chocolates and they're going to get phone calls and whatever. So the team system seems to be a really good fit for that.
Cool. So you can still build the brand, the Kira Witherwax brand.
Right.
And not have to do all the labor yourself.
Right.
So
and
you can spend time with your family.
Exactly. And there were like leads that I would get, whether somebody called on a listing or whatever, that I didn't have the time to really nurture them. And, maybe they were not ready to buy something right this minute, but eventually would.
Yeah.
And so, some of those were just, they weren't getting nurtured and taken care of. And this gives me a way to give those leads to somebody who does have the time to take care of them.
And especially somebody like yourself who cares so much about the relationship. Like if you're not providing the level of service, I've struggled with that in my business, like it's like we've had these moments of growth and it's like, how do you manage the high level of expectation we put on ourselves so that we give an amazing experience to more people all at once?
Yes. Yes. How do we
That's
do
a
everything?
great question. And, with the growth mindset in mind, one of the things I've found is looking in the mirror is one of the hardest things to do.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because like you have to really see where you are today.
Right.
And ask yourself the hard questions so that you can break through those walls, figure out what your constraints are and get to the next level. So I guess with that said, like, what does the growth mindset mean to you?
I think it's not like it's not linear. It's not like I need to get to this place. It's sort of circular in some ways. It's like I don't ever want to be stagnant. I think that's what it is. It's like I always want to be growing myself. And what organically happens is when that happens, when you're constantly trying to improve yourself and improve your customer service and improve the experience for your clients, your business grows too. Yeah. And it's not necessarily the goal. It's just what happens. So yeah, I think that's what it looks like for me.
It's not a destination.
Right.
It's enjoying the journey. And it's the result of constant improvement. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. It's interesting, right? Because it means something different to everybody. Sure. And I just find it fascinating because, everybody starts in a different place and we all have different inputs to get us to where we are. Right. And it's so cool how we can take different things in our past and leverage that and take our individual experiences to build something amazing and to build the relationships and we all have different ingredients, to your culinary background, right? Like we're all coming to the table with different ingredients for our recipe, and we all want to provide something amazing. And it's cool that you can do it. There's so many ways to make the sausage. Absolutely right. And it's good no matter which way. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because, at first when I kind of started developing systems, I would be like, oh, well, I'm not going to tell people what I'm doing. Right. And then I realized it doesn't matter if I tell them because they don't do it. They're not going to implement it anyway. So now I'm like, these are all the things I'm doing. There's some people like coach and I'm like beating them with systems. It's like, please. Right. Yeah. Because it's not complicated. No. But it's actually scary how uncomplicated it is. Yeah. Like the biggest thing I have found is don't be shy. Just pick up the phone. Right. And what we were talking before we turned the camera on about wanting. Right. And that's a piece that I don't think you can teach. I agree. Like, are you hungry or not? Right. Right. Like when you're hungry, you'll eat. Yeah. But if you're not gonna. Yeah. Right. So how do you teach the hunger? Or how do you? That's a good question. Yeah. Right. You know that answer. Yeah. I think. Or I guess maybe a better question is, what keeps you hungry? Because obviously you've had a lot of success in your career. And one of the things I've found over the years is like comfort is the biggest deterrent of success sometimes, right? So, right. And like when I've been super comfy, there's been times I don't want to push it to the next level.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
So what keeps you motivated
Right.
to keep going?
Well, it's interesting because before we were talking and you had said something about, what is that it factor that like pushes us. For me, I think it's the not staying stagnant. Like, I don't think it's necessarily pushing for something else. It's the constant change.
The fear of complacency.
Yeah. I think. And so it's not, like a goal-driven money thing as much as it's, well, that's cool. I figured that out. Now what can I do?
You get the enjoyment from putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. And so I don't know how you.
Yeah. Well, it's
because I think for most people, most agents, it's a matter of like, oh, okay, well, I want to get here. Can you help me get here?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I can tell you, like you said, I can tell you what to do to get there.
If you do, and that's the amazing thing that I love about real estate. It's like, I don't want to downplay it or overplay it, but like it's if you do X, you'll get Y.
Yeah.
Pretty, unless you're, like sometimes maybe it's like a little tweak in scripting or whatever.
Right.
But generally speaking, if you do the work, you'll get the reward.
Right.
And people all want the reward.
And they're like, but I don't want to do all that. I don't want
to do the work. I just, I just want to get rich. Yeah. Like, where's the easy button?
Right. And
I found in my life that the easy button doesn't exist.
No. I think, it's in real estate, I think similar to many entrepreneurial type things. It's not like if you do this for these clients, then you'll get this reward. You kind of have to think of it as one big animal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to put in the efforts. That's what I can control.
Yep.
The results, I just have to trust that those will happen. And they're not going to happen the way I think they're going to happen. And they're not going to happen because I showed this person 15 houses that they're going to buy a good one. It might be they don't buy anything with me, but then this other person, I show them one house and they buy it.
Exactly.
You have to think of it as a whole.
Yeah. Otherwise,
it becomes very frustrating very quickly.
Well, you can't control the harvest, but you can control the seeds you sow every day, right? And it's and what I have found is it's scary. Doing it for 17 years now. It's like, I know. Like, well, how did I get old? Like, when did that happen? Like, I just started. And I'm like, I'm coming up on 2 decades of doing this now, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
But I have seeds that come to harvest today that I planted 10 years ago.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And it's, and it's just consistently sowing the seeds every day. And sometimes they come to harvest and sometimes they don't.
Right.
And sometimes they bring a friend.
That's right. Exactly. Right.
And it's one of the reasons I love working with harder deals, credit challenged people. Like they've been, we live in a small community and there's a handful of, banks, and sometimes they just get told no over and over and over again. And I'm like, well, no, but here's the plan, and whether that takes 3 months or 3 years for you to execute, if you do these steps, then you can get the result.
Yeah.
And that's what I find super rewarding on my side of the business. It's like I can tailor a package to them, and those people are usually just so grateful.
Oh yeah.
And like they have been, they scream my name from mountaintops.
Sure. Yeah.
And and one of the reasons my team and I love working with your team is you emulate that same exact thing.
Yeah. And
you care at such a deep level that it shows. And I mean, that's why I believe you're so successful, externally. So good work. I mean, you're doing awesome.
Thank you. We love to work with your team.
Yeah.
It's great.
Nice. Well, is there anything that I didn't ask you today?
I don't think so.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on the Growth Mindset podcast, and really appreciate you carving out the time, and awesome that we ran into each other 6.5 hours away.
I know, right? Small world.
Absolutely. Cool. Thank you so much, Kira.
Thank you.
You guys have a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers. Bye.
You've been listening to The Growth Mindset, hosted by Adam Crosley and Rick Riddle. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your colleagues. Stay tuned for more actionable insights to fuel your career success. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily reflect the official policies, positions, or opinions of Absolute Home Mortgage Corporation or Crown Home Mortgage. The content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice or an official endorsement by either organization.